okay? And I'm absolutely disgusted. I was in work the other day, I work in a hospital, okay? And the Muslim surgeons, doctors and nurses were too afraid to walk into work from where they live. They had to get taxis. Actually, the hospital had to supply taxis for them. That's how bad they felt for their safety, okay? So the next time that your child needs a heart operation, okay, don't ask a Muslim doctor to do it or a Muslim surgeon, because why should you? They've come over here, they've taken your job, haven't they? Yeah? Or don't ask a nurse, a Muslim nurse or a black nurse, okay, to give your child medication. Yeah? Because, nah, they've come over and took your job, haven't they? That GP in the surgery has took your job, hasn't she? Yeah. That job you didn't want, remember? That job that you decided to stay on the dole for because you couldn't be asked to get off your British ass and go and study to be a doctor or a surgeon or a nurse or any other professional job that you could have had all your life. No, you've decided to just take. Why shouldn't the immigrants come over and take money? You're taking it. Well, why shouldn't anyone else take it? You're sponging. Let someone else sponge as well. Or I tell you what we could do, yeah? I'd bring all the Muslim people over here because I tell you now, they're a nicer bunch of people than most of the British people that live here, okay? So bring them over and ship you fuckers somewhere else. Ship you somewhere else, yeah? To an island where nobody works and everyone just sponges off each other, yeah? Because I tell you now, how many Muslim people are on the dole? Not many. No, not many at all. How many British people are on the dole? Yeah. A lot, yeah. So they're not taking your job, are they? Because you could have had that job, but you decided not to. So employees had to look elsewhere to get surgeons, doctors and nurses over from different countries to help our system because you didn't want it. So do not tell me that it's anything to do with immigrants coming over on a boat, because it's not. It's all to do with racism. And I, for one, am ashamed to say that I live here and ashamed to say that I'm British.
We want our country back. We want our country back. Doing that bit.
Somebody please tell me why I'd ever get a job when this is my weekly universal credits that I get. I mean, why would I get a job? I get your monthly wage in a week. So why would I put myself out and get a job? I mean, I'm living my fucking best life. Fucking hell.
Locals probably had enough of the immigration issue, you know, and I don't know who you've spoken to
that's what we heard.
In your time here. I mean, I would say when I was a young teenager was when we first started to get it. We had the Portuguese moving over. Then it switched to the Eastern Europeans, so Polish, Lithuanian, Latvian, and that's been and gone. And I couldn't tell you what that.
Like, how are there even that many immigrants here? The numbers suggest.
Oh yeah, there is a lot. I mean, if you get the other side of town to West Street, you'll find you won't find an English person there. You won't find an English shop.
So there's not a lot of assimilation.
There's got to be a link there, and you know, unfortunately, Boston being the small, narrow-minded place it is, you'll find that people will blame immigration for things like a loss of jobs.
Do you think they should?
Not really, no. I mean, in my opinion, there's various reasons for unemployment. A lot of it being laziness.
Yeah.
You know, and you'll often find that a lot of the jobs that immigrant workers are doing now, for example, whether it's out in the fields, you're getting cauliflower up, etc., but various vegetables. They're jobs that English people used to do when they had a work ethic, but the younger people don't have that work ethic, so they don't want it, therefore the immigrants do it.
Do you feel that Westminster represents the values here and people's needs?
I think it's very a forgotten about place, if you will, you know, compared to, well, obviously it is a small town in the big scheme of things, but Lincolnshire as a whole is one of those forgotten about places.
Yeah, look, Colin, let's get this straight. I'm not knocking or running down millions of hard-working Brits. I'm knocking and running down millions of non-hard-working Brits. The people that go to work and work hard, they're great, and no one's entitled to knock them. They need to be paid more and looked after more. I'm talking about the people that are not prepared to go to work, the people that want to work from home, that can go into work, which I believe is the better way. I'm talking about many youngsters that are not taking the opportunity to retrain or to do an apprenticeship. I'm talking about the people that don't want to go work. I'm not knocking the people that go work. Anybody that goes to work, I absolutely admire, irrespective of the job. But we are talking here the lazy culture that, unfortunately, like their other guest said, have got so used to having money, benefit money, and given money to stay at home, where, you know, if we stopped all that, we would get back to being hard work Brits again.
It's worth pointing out that I don't think either Charlie or I are running down British people per se, because I don't think it's a British thing. I think it's something to do with the benefits culture. I think it's something to do with lack of education in schools. I think there's a problem with throwing young people on the scrap heap if they're not necessarily academic. I think there's a whole heap of things that have been done in Britain to British people that has caused us to create effectively an underclass of people who believe that benefits are a lifestyle choice rather than something that should be a safety net. And that's something that we should be apologising to these people for, not necessarily vilifying them, but it is a problem. No doubt about that.
I work in the public sector and I see scores and scores of jobs that are unfilled, and there are people who want to come to this country who would do those jobs.
There's a lot of foreign people working in the hospitals because they want to work. The trouble is as well, a lot of the English don't want to work, they just want to sit there and claim benefits. It's too easy. You know what I mean? I've worked all my life in the building trade and I've grafted all my life. And that's how I've been brought up, but a lot of them, they just don't want to work.
Well, I get a load of Jamaican ladies come to me, you know, always give me food. They cook food at home especially and bring it out for me.
Yeah.
It makes me a bit emotional, you know.
Yeah.
Because my own people don't do that for me.
Yeah.
So, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they are my people.
In general, I still think English about foreign labour are poor, to be quite honest. I love working with them. Really? Yeah, I do.
What do you like about it?
I like the culture. Everyone's got a different culture. All I can speak is English, which is sad, whereas they can speak quite a few nationalities. But you know what? You'll often find, because I've just been working in a nursery, and a nursery such as with flowers, plants, and someone had said to me the other day, it was an English person that said to me, "This is the ideal foreign job, isn't it?" I went, "Oh." He's English, by the way, this man.
What did you think he meant by that?
I took it that, well, let them do it, because no bugger else wants to do it. Sorry about language, I know you'll edit this. But I don't know, there's not many English people on that actual job. And you're lucky if you can communicate. Some you can, some you can't. But I'll always give it a go. But I just thought, what a comment to make. This is just made for the foreigners, this job. As if to say, well, they ain't got no brains, but we need them. They'll do it.
Politicians, well, most of them are liars.
We are getting scum in this country.
We're fed up with Tories and the Labour people.
No control over immigration.
Vote for a new party.
Immigration is a concern.
The others are faffing about.
Because of immigration.
I can't get a job. If I paint myself black or talking a foreign language, I might get a job.
We want our country back. We want our country back. We're doing our bit.
I'd be mildly amused if it wasn't so sad when I hear English people talking about living in a divided country. These are people from the same country who went around the world colonialising and drawing random borders between countries that they claimed ownership of. One only has to look at the borders between Botswana and Namibia to see that they just used a straight line with a ruler in order to place a border between peoples who were actually from the same tribes, the same people, who were then forced to live in separate countries. Moreover, one only has to look today at the Republic of Ireland and the North of Ireland to see the neo-colonialism of the British, whereby Ireland is still under occupation of the British government, and many other British protectorates exist still across the world. Look at the number of flags with a Union flag in the corner that one might see at the Olympic Games. And in these countries, the King of England is still the rightful sovereign. Rightful being in inverted commas, of course. So, Carl from Cleethorpes, Scott from Sunderland, or whoever you are in Hartlepool, your country is not divided. You just need to understand what real division is.
I can't even get a job. All the immigrants are coming over and taking our jobs. Well, what do they say to you when you apply for a job? Well, I've got a criminal record. Don't.
I've just watched this interview on Instagram about this man called Gary, who's driven from Harlow in Essex to Middlesbrough to participate in the riots and getting our country back, because he's read online, I'm not sure where he's read it online, but he's read online that 95% of Asian and black people cause problems, cause grief. Now, Gary doesn't sound like he can read. He doesn't sound very intelligent. So I'm not sure how he's read this statistic and where he's read it from, but he's read it anyway. So obviously it must be true. So Gary thinks that by driving to Middlesbrough and looting JD and setting fire to shops and bus stops and smashing things in the middle of the street and taking their kids, you know, in pushchairs and having them shout vile, ignorant, racist comments, you know, robbing Greggs of all the sausage rolls and donuts. Obviously, Gary needs to feed his kids. They need breakfast, lunch and dinner. So he's robbed all the sausage rolls from Greggs. He's robbed all the donuts because obviously he's contributing to his tooth decay. Him and his family have got like one little brown tooth between them. So yeah, Gary thinks that by doing this, he's getting his country back. Gary probably doesn't understand, and he's probably forgotten that there's many people in this country, white people, who have committed awful crimes. So just to name a few, because there's quite a lot. Most recent is probably Lucy Letby, who murdered all those babies. He's forgotten about people like Jimmy Savile, child predator, paedophile, white guy. Myra Hindley, white woman, killed her own children, some of her own children, other people's children, along with her husband. What was his name? Can't remember what his name is. Psycho fucking said. Anyway, he was white too. Ian Huntley murdered 2 schoolgirls. You know, these are just a handful of people that have committed crime, awful crime in this country. But Gary says he's not racist. Gary said he is not racist. He was arguing with the interviewer how he's not racist. Gary is racist. Gary just doesn't have the balls or the brain cells to admit that he is racist because he doesn't understand the definition of racism because he's thick as shit. So yeah. Gary also needs to check his family history because, you know, a lot of us, if you check your family history, come from foreign descent. I do. I'm the great-granddaughter of an immigrant who came to this country and couldn't speak a word of English. But she came from France and she was white, so it might not count. Might not count because she was white. But yeah, just wanted to say that, Gary, you do not represent me, anyone I know, any of my family, any of my friends. You do not represent me. You are a waste man. You're as thick as shit. You need to go back to school and need to sort your teeth out before you start worrying about the country. Ciao, Gary.
Dear white people, we can't keep pretending this fight isn't ours, that our comfort's not rooted in someone else's scars. Posting and tweeting, that's just the start, but it's hollow if it doesn't move the heart. If we don't use our privilege to stand, to act, to challenge the hate that's growing out back. Your enemy's not on a boat, but in the suits and ties, in the quiet deals where the real power lies. It's not the ones crossing desperate seas, it's the one in jets, sipping champagne with ease. They arrive with smiles and leave with the spoils, while we're left arguing on our blood-stained soils. It's time to face the truth we've avoided too long, that our silence is violence and it's plain wrong. Our comfort's complicity, woven tight in the seams of systems that shatter other people's dreams. We've stood back too long, watched the world burn, thinking it's not our house, that it's not our concern, but the flames are licking at your own front door, and denial won't save us anymore. This isn't a choice we can opt out of. It's a call to stand up, to push back with love. So dear white people, the time is now. To step out of the shadows, to take a vow, to stand for justice, for truth, for light, to be the allies who finally get it right.
They're simultaneously stealing all our jobs, but they're also lazy and living on benefits. And quite how they manage to achieve that at the same time, I don't know. That's quite impressive.
These are the people who want to protect our country from those who are coming over on the boats, the criminals, the thieves, the undocumented people who are going to ruin our culture and ruin our country. Yeah, okay.
We've got a bar over there that's Brazilian, favela. We've got Pizza Americano, which if you're from Barnsley, it's an absolute stronghold of after a night out. Everybody's getting a pizza from there. Owned by people who are not from Barnsley, foreign people. Soul Lounge, not British, not Barnsley. Everything in this town has got some contribution from non-British, non-Barnsley people. Half our Barnsley team are not British, and we love it. The immigrants make our society better. They're what make us better as people and make us proud to be British. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of people making the small minorities in society the scapegoat for all the problems. Your problems are from classism, your problems are from the top down, people making us feel small because we're working class, but I'm proud to be working class and I'm proud to be anti-racist working class as well, and I will not have it in my town.
Have you seen the video of the guy in the UK being interviewed on TV claiming that the reason he can't get a job is because of immigrants? And it turns out the reason he can't actually get a job is because of his criminal record for assault.
What is an issue is immigration for you?
Well, but I can't get a job. They come to this country and they just get a job just like that.
So when you apply, what do they say to you?
Well, I've got a criminal record. Assault.
Well, I mean, okay, but as if that's not bad enough, the twist in the story is this. In jail for repeatedly doing this to a 7-year-old girl. So it's not the immigrants, is it? It's wild that you've gone on TV thinking it's the foreigners, that's why I can't get a job. Mate, really? And this, like, some people are just so simple, it's ridiculous. But this guy's literally on TV, he's done that, and he's claiming about immigrants. What?
Again, tell me, what does this achieve? You see, these are hard-working people. They don't come here and steal your jobs. They come here and they pay taxes. I mean, I never thought I'd be walking in the sandy road, to be quite honest, because it's filled with Israeli flags. So my question is for those of you that say your problem is with those illegal immigrants that come off boats, you know, the ones that you call rapists and murderers. Let me ask you this. Those shops that were burnt down today, did they come off the boat? Are they illegal immigrants? Because as far as I'm concerned, they've lived here for many years and they're hard workers. Those little racist minority in our society should be deeply ashamed of themselves. But I'm so glad that I have seen the good people of Belfast come out today and show their support to those businesses that were destroyed last night because of thugs. You really have no idea. You have no understanding of these people. They come here, they've been here for years, they work hard, they pay their taxes, but you still destroy their businesses. Really doesn't add up, does it?
We want our country back. We want our country back. Doing that bit.